Welcome to the Missile Procedure Training. It's a duplicate of an operational launch control center that controlled the Minuteman II Intercontinental Ballistic Missile System. Each center was manned by a two-person crew, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for over 30 years. Each center controlled 10 missiles and could also assume control of any of the other 40 missiles in its squadron if another control center was inoperative. Each alert shift started the same. The crew would enter the capsule through the 8-ton blast door and assume operational alert from the off-going crew. In order to relieve the off-going crew, the new crew was required to inventory all classified manuals, cryptographic code manuals, and go-to-war authenticators. They would then receive a briefing about activities in their area. The center was supported by commercial electrical power with both battery and generator backup. Special environmental systems ensured the crew received filtered air under all conditions. If cooling air was lost, a backup system using cold brine was used to maintain system temperature. The center's equipment provided the heat necessary to maintain the room temperature at about 70 degrees. Illuminated now are the communication systems. The center was equipped with radios, telephones, satellite communication systems, and the survivable low-frequency communication system. Some of these systems were capable of encrypted transmission of information. This redundancy and security ensured the National Command Authority could give instructions to missile forces in any type of degraded environment. The rack of equipment on the right is the satellite communication system. Next to it is the survivable low-frequency communication system. This system can only receive information, used ground wave transmission, which is very survivable in a nuclear environment. The next rack is the Strategic Air Command Digital Integrated Network Communication System. This secure system provided a teletype net for the command, but used standard telephone lines that would have been of little use in a wartime environment. These three racks are the components for control and monitoring the missile system. The rack on the right is the Command Status Message Processing Group. It contains the data store and processor, launch verification panel, and a printer. The data store and processor sets up a readiness survey of all missiles, monitors and stores their status, and formats the operator's commands. The launch verification panel provided missile status interrogation, targeting commands, and co-op key turn for the Deputy Missile Combat Crew Commander. The printer provided printed information on missile and launch facility status. The middle rack is the Command Message Processing Group, which checks the validity of incoming and outgoing missile status information. The rack on the left is the Digital Data Group, which served as a signal conditioning interface between information systems within the center. You are now looking at the Deputy Missile Combat Crew Commander Station. The box on the upper right is called the Launch Enabled Control Group. The thumb wheel switches had to be set to a specific code to enable launch preparations. The Deputy's communication panel had direct line communications to security, the silos in the flight, and the other control centers. This system used both telephone and radios for communication within the flight area and the airborne command aircraft covering the missile field. The Missile Combat Crew Commander's Console is located at the end of the center. The separation between the consoles was a control system itself. Launch of the missiles required both individuals to turn their launch keys within 2 seconds of each other. The physical separation prevented key turns by one person. Missile status was monitored every 80 seconds. If the system detected a malfunction, alarms would sound in the center and a printout would be provided to the crew. Additionally, the Missile Status Indicator panel would give a visual indication of the state of each missile. This is the Launch Control Panel, containing the commander's launch key, an inhibit switch, and war plan option switch. Directly below it is the Program Control Panel, which initiated commands to any of the squadron's 50 missiles. If the United States were to come under attack, only the President could order a missile launch to strike back at our attacker. The President and his advisors would select the war plan option, and he would authorize the transmission of the attack order to all affected forces. The message would contain the Enable Unlock code, the missile launch options, and the authentication code. Upon receiving the message, The crews would unlock their respective combination locks from the authentication safe, remove the coded authentication documents, and ensure the message was valid. The deputy would set the option number into the control panel and dial the Launch Enable Unlock code into the thumb wheel switches. The deputy then locked the Enable switch to the Enable position. At the same time, the commander would set the program control panel to enable communication to all affected missiles. This would be followed by initiating the command using a switch on the panel. The crew would verify the missiles were enabled and configured with proper targeting and timing information. Then, as directed, they would simultaneously turn their launch keys. Missiles required 2 separate launch votes to launch. Each center's key turns generated 1 vote, so a second center would also have needed to accomplish the key turns procedure before any of the squadron's missiles would have been able to launch. The crew then monitored their missile status indicator panel and printer to check on the progress of the missiles. Once the commands had been properly validated, the missile would enter the launch sequence. A precise series of automatic operations began with a final check of the system readiness. Next, the silo closure door was blown off and the missile umbilical cord was retracted. Finally, the first stage of each rocket was ignited. This took less than 60 seconds to get the missiles into the air. The 24-hour, 7-day-a-week manning of launch control centers by the missile combat crews for over 35 years contributed to the end of the Cold War era. Additional displays in the museum will cover other aspects of missile operations. A visit to the missile silo is available on the base tour during the summer.
That's the for you. Are you Eric?
Yeah, I am, Grandpa. Well, I'm around missile and some other stuff.